I love planning trips. Just the thought of traveling, seeing new things, spending time with people I care about, and the videos and the photos that come with it make me ecstatic with happiness. Ever since I can remember, I've always loved exploring. Whether it's a big city or a small little hiking trail that hasn't been used in years, and everything in between, if it's accessible, regardless of the legality, then I'd love to see it someday. Which is why I started planning a trip east. One you may have seen on my channel before, to the Anza Desert State Park and the Salton Sea. You may ask why I already want to go back, since I just got back from my trip and took 3 videos and hundreds of photos from the amazing experience. And my reasoning is simple. I love the desert. I love the Salton Sea. I love everything about it. The lonely yet beautiful empty desert roads, driving home at night, and stopping to take photos. The endless expanse of desert with no signs of civilization. The amazing opportunity to see the Salton Sea, a once booming tourist attraction, and the ruins of a past we'll never truly understand. The thrill in leaving super early, knowing that you're going to have an amazing day with amazing people and nothing stopping you. The first step to planning out the trip was deciding where we wanted to go. Originally, there were several ideas thrown around, ranging all the way from Los Angeles, which is 100 miles north of our location, to seeing a desert that isn't as familiar in Joshua Tree, and even venturing up into the mountains of Idlewild and seeing a greener landscape for 18 hours instead. As we got more and more ideas, I think I kind of decided the best place we go to be the desert once more for a couple reasons. For one, because of how magical the place seemed to be to me, how happy it made me to be able to explore the small town of Salton City and to drive on a road that seems to go on indefinitely, and more so because of how much we didn't get to see last time we went. The last trip me and Owen took was great, but we didn't have enough time nor enough knowledge as to what to do. We agreed that on the next trip there would be much more planning and definitely much more sightseeing along the way. I made one of the interactive Google Maps, which are extremely helpful for planning trips and organizing locations, and tried to see what would be on our route, and established a general direction which would take us around the entire Salton Sea, seeing all types of places from the lawless town known as Slab City to the cities of Brawley, Salton, Salt City, the ruins of places like Bombay Beach, and of course whatever else catches my eye while driving. We began to cross out locations that didn't seem to work out or were too out of our range to visit, and circled our top destinations. From there, I quickly drew out a route and calculated how long it would take and the distance between each item to decide when to leave if we wanted to have enough time to see everything. After this, I made a schedule that would have the order of everything we'd be doing, with a bit of wiggle room if we find something else that just can't be missed, and confirmed with my parents that it would be okay if we were out of the house from 4:45 a.m. all the way to 10 or 11 at night on the trip, which, to my surprise, was fine. I was really unsure at first what we were going to do in regards to eating. I don't like the thought of eating everything while we were on the road, since it wasn't fair to the other guys to have to eat everything while driving and not sit down and enjoy the view. We'll probably do breakfast while driving and stop somewhere on the side of the road in a picturesque area to enjoy the view while we eat for lunch. Unless we're running significantly late, then things change. And for dinner, when I started, I was hoping that we'd be able to make it to a little diner-style restaurant right next to the Salton Sea called Johnson's that I went to last time, with amazing service and great food, but it won't be open as late as we'd be there, so we'll most likely go to the Denny's in the northern city of Mecca. Since I had recently made a new playlist as it was, and I had Spotify Premium so all my music could be downloaded, I didn't need to make a new playlist like I did last trip. However, I did decide to make a joke playlist with some funny songs that you may recognize on screen for a few laughs while driving home at night, or when it gets boring to listen to regular music. If you have any meme, joke, song recommendations that aren't too explicit, feel free to share them down below to see it on the playlist. Everything seemed to be going perfect. I had the schedule all planned out, figured out the weather, and decided on which day would have the most abundant sun and ideal temperatures. I even spent my time in class making a packing list for all the things that I wanted to bring on the trip, just to make sure I was prepared, and things I had to check before going, like my tire pressure, water bottles, etc. I was getting super excited, and despite the trip being an entire month away, I could barely contain my anticipation to see a familiar sight once more. I was simulating our drive down the highway to see what it would look like on Google Maps, and then I saw it. Border Patrol checkpoint. For reasons I should probably not share on camera, we did not want to have any interactions with the police. And if you think about that sentence really hard, you'll figure out why. This changed everything. Thankfully there was only one, right? Since it was only on one side of the road, we'd definitely be able to go around it by simply changing the direction that we were driving from clockwise to counterclockwise. And just a couple points, right? Wrong. Another one on the other side of the road! With these two, it was nearly impossible to go around the entire Salton Sea and plan the original route that we planned to follow. there were, thankfully, still a few options that we could do and routes that we could follow and not have to deal with the checkpoints. I brought up the idea of trying to do what hundreds of others have been doing recently and refusing to answer questions and going on with my day. However, considering a couple factors, I'm not sure that would be the best thing. I started researching routes and had a couple of potential ideas you'd see, but the first one is go to reverse route like we were planning to avoid the close checkpoint and going around the other checkpoint on the other side of the sea. However, I think that it would be really suspicious if we were to do this, considering it's only 0.3 miles away from the checkpoint, and they would surely see someone going on an alternate route to avoid getting questions, right? My next idea would be to go to normal route that we were going the first time, except instead of going back to the original route we left, we would go down through Brawley and down to the I-8, and go one or two routes, either entirely on the I-8 or go up after a moment of driving on it, so we would still have the driving through the desert at night experience. Fortunately, seemingly every time we had a new idea as to how we might be able to get there, another one of these came up. It's entirely understandable that they want to have as many checkpoints as possible, but we were trapped seemingly no matter which route we took. I felt really defeated. No matter how much of a detour we took, there was always something in our way that would stop us from continuing our trip. Then, I had one more round idea. Instead of going around the entire Salton Sea, we could have clockwise, like originally planned, then turn around at Bombay Beach and go back. Sure, we would have to unfortunately cross off a couple items from the list of locations and make a new map with the new roads, but I feel like in the end it's the best idea. Then we can still get the experience of going to the Salton Sea without the risk of getting in trouble with the law. And this guy will be there, and that's something that might catch the police's eye in its own. Just joking, of course. It's about the same distance in terms of miles, and we'd only be missing out on 3 or 4 things. So we decided that it would be the best route to take, so we could still go and see most of the things we wanted. And it was settled. Sure, the trip planning process wasn't the most smooth thing, at least not once I discovered there were border patrol checkpoints around all the roads in the area. I'm just thankful that we were able to hit those speed bumps before the actual trip started, or a few days before, because it's much easier to prepare when you see it coming a bit in advance. I still love the experience of not only exploring all these wonderful places in the world, but planning and deciding what we want to do each time we step outside of the comfort zone and decide to experience or try something new. Seek discomfort, right? Another thing that I've grown to realize and love about trip planning is the fact that while sometimes it's really reassuring to have a seemingly perfect plan with a perfect roadmap and a perfect time schedule, sometimes it's better to be unprepared. Because it's much more difficult to allow yourself to check out that little exit off the main road if you don't have a plan. And you never know, that one extra stop you make may be the highlight of the day. I'm sure that regardless of the road bumps, our trip is going to be smooth and amazing. If you want to tag along, at least virtually, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, that way you'll get notified right when we upload any videos. And feel free to check out the video map, which shows a map of the locations for where all of my traveling and exploring videos take place. Remember, seek discomfort whenever possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day.